Can we just start this interview by getting you to respond to some of those direct allegations from Dr. Sabri Saidam? He spoke to us less than an hour ago. He says at the heart of all this is Israel's racism towards the Palestinians, Israel's denial of the Palestinians' right to exist and have a cultural life in the holy city of Jerusalem.
Nothing could be further from the truth. Obviously, we respect everyone from different nationalities, of different faiths. I think only since the city became reunited under Israeli control can one say that all faiths are free to practice their religion. All the holy sites are run and administered by their own communities autonomously. Israel is committed to that.
So you would deny that Israel is unilaterally widening access to accommodate larger numbers of Jewish worshippers?
If you're asking specifically about the Temple Mount, Prime Minister Netanyahu has said repeatedly that we will not allow any changes to the status quo. The status quo has served as a basis for live and let live for decades now, and we are committed to maintaining that. And the Prime Minister will oppose attempts in Parliament and other places to change the status quo. We're very clear about that. And these concerns or these rumors that one hears on the Palestinian side about some sort of supposed threat to the Islamic holy places, it's completely baseless.
Why?
We are committed to maintaining the status quo.
So, Mark Regev, why the need then to close the compound today, given how inflammatory that very action is?
We were compelled to do it. We didn't want to. The goal is to reduce friction, to reduce tension on what is ultimately a day where there's been a murder and there's concern about reprisals from different sides. So the idea is to try to calm things down as quickly as possible and therefore allow, as soon as possible, everyone to get back to normal so people of all faiths can worship in freedom and in safety.
The concern, though, is that the exact opposite will happen. We've already heard Mahmoud Abbas say that this is tantamount to a declaration of war.
I think, unfortunately, that sort of language is exactly what we don't need. We need people to encourage peace and quiet and live and let live. You know, we've had some Islamic extremists talk about a so-called threat to the Muslim holy places that doesn't exist. It's just not there. But they've fabricated this, and it's very, very of concern, I think, that when mainstream Palestinian leadership echoes that, come to the holy places in Jerusalem, see for yourselves that they are thriving, that they are autonomously administered by the Muslim religious community in itself. There is no, it's all a fabrication.
But they would say the wider picture of course, comes back to the occupation, Mark Regev, and there are much bigger questions there. Just a few days ago, yet again, Israel announcing further expansion of settlements. That in itself is inflammatory, let alone what we saw in Gaza over the summer.
The issue of the settlements will be determined ultimately in the peace talks between us and the Palestinians. What Israel is talking about is planning new housing units in Jewish neighborhoods of Jerusalem. And I'd remind you and all the viewers that in every peace plan that's been put on the table in the last 20 years, the Jewish neighborhoods of Jerusalem remain part of Israel in final status peace. That's also something the Palestinians have accepted. So I would ask you and the audience, why is it a problem for peace if Israel is building in those very neighborhoods where everyone has accepted that there's an international consensus that those neighborhoods remain part of Israel?